you live in Skegness. If I was investing in Skegness, I'm not there. I can't have that daily contact. I can't pop in and see them. So that's really important that they get to see you and meet you. So good stuff. Right. So here's an opportunity. So this here is something, and I'm going to come out of this screen and share a different screen with you. All right. Now, as we go through, we just heard that the owner is going to have a structural engineer's report purely because some work was done in the loft. And I asked when Michael was talking to about me, has he got building regs? But look, it's not a huge property. And I still, I don't mind when it's problems. It's quite easily resolvable. So I've got to come out of this screen. I'm going to stop that. And I'm going to go in. Nice to see you all, guys. Nice. Can you give me a thumbs up? Are you enjoying this, guys? Is this good? Good. Love it. Love it. Okay, so I've got to share another screen. So hopefully you can see that. Chapel St. Leonard's. All right, I can tell you it was on for around about, they want about 150, but it's a deceased estate. So, Michael, I'm quite happy if you want to talk through it, man. It's your deal. I'll help you and jump in if you want. Well, it's up to you. Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, well, I mean, you can do it, and then I can correct you if you go wrong.
Please do. Please do. That's good. No, I love it. So, I mean, in looking at it, obviously, what Michael has said is that there's a high demand for rental in this area. So it's going to go. To sell it, to do it up and sell it, yes, I think it would go. It's definitely a retirement home, and it's a good place, no problem at all. So what's the issues with it? Well, let's have a look at it. So it's a bungalow when they've gone upstairs. One of the things which is my pet hate is when people try to do it on the cheap and by themselves. And I see it too many times, and it really is horrible when they try to do that. So that's the issue, that they've done it on the cheap upstairs. If you have to rip it out, it's not a big area. So I'm never scared. The kitchen, that is a Howden's kitchen. How good it is, I don't know. Can you use some or can't you? It doesn't look too bad, but you'll have to go and see it. I might be going to see this either Sunday or Monday to see. All right. So you can see you would do a much nicer kitchen, integrated, and make it nice, especially if you were thinking of flipping it and selling it. Living room, fine. You can see that the carpet's knackered. It needs a lick of paint, bit maybe coloured. I'm sure Leslie's looking at that and thinking, think what I could do with the colours. Leslie, what would you do with that?
Chuck it.
Listen, I love this. This is my favorite picture of all time. That Hoover is not a Henry. It is so lonely. It hasn't even got a name, honestly. So you can see, look, it doesn't look bad. Properties always look good on a bright day. I have to tell you that. Love that. Yeah, that's interesting. So, but it's a good site of the radiators. So I would change all of the radiators, but plumbing is in there, and it's the right size pipe. So you got no problems there. All right. Again, I'd rip all that out and do it nicely. A sink in the corner, that's typical. I don't know. We'd have to have a look. You might probably something like that. Whatever's behind that wall, you could make an ensuite. You could make it nicer. Who knows?
The bathroom is behind that wall.
Yeah, so you could easily do an ensuite, easy. Or how many bedrooms is it?
Three bedroom, yeah.
Perfect. All right. So this is the upstairs where he's done a bit of boarding out himself. Interesting. You have to have a look. What's wrong with that floor?
The flooring is very uneven and unsteady because they've kind of patched the floor up. As you can see, all them little kind of squares, and then you can see like a patch coming from the ceiling.
Yep.
On the floor, coming obviously cool ceiling. So there's kind of water coming from somewhere, but you can't get into that bit of the loft for some reason.
No, that's quite a simple fix. So if that's what it is, because you will have the joists which are now the floor, the underneath the floorboards. I don't think they've got floorboards. That's a problem. But what you could do is rip that up, and you'd want tongue and groove, maybe 22 mil board, and put there, and it'd be a solid, smooth floor. So again, and I can tell you, to do boarding or just to buy the boarding for what I can see that room, you're probably looking 150 quid. I mean, not a lot. All right. for boarding, just to change that floor to sort it. So the other problems, again, not insurmountable. Have to have a look at if there's any damp issues. But this is again, I'm looking at square. If it's squared off, it doesn't look too bad. Interesting, but is that back of that wall?
Yeah. So we go to the next picture.
Yeah.
That's the sink is the back of that sink.
Okay, so it's far too big. So you're doing ensuite there. It's easy. You can even use that toilet. Come off where that thing is. Easy. That is going to be plasterboard just to chop down. Easy fix. Outside, you need to tidy up a little bit. So, it's all pretty good. I'd tidy that driveway just a tad, but it's not too bad. Floor plan, no chain. I love this. So this is all Michael's work, by the way. This is all Michael. This is nothing to do with me. So I've asked him from the very beginning, set it up, and this is how he's presenting stuff. Nice and clear, okay? No chain. Look what he's put. Lovely edge of village location. Farmland views to the rear. 3-bed dormer. Nice open-facing outlook to the front. Gardens, 19-foot garage. Entrance porch, reception hall, 21-foot lounge. Kitchen, dining room, French doors. WC, double bedroom. 2 16-foot bedrooms. Shower room, fields view, oil central heating. You have to note that. So there's no gas, it's oil, it's fine. No problems with that at all. In Skegness, it's quite common. PVC windows and glazing, and they look pretty good condition. Exciting scope for improvement. An EPC rating, E. By the time you do the works, you need E as a minimum to rent. But if you're an investor, you don't want much more information than that. All right. I'd be speaking to him, what's going on upstairs. The report is coming. And we see. Now then, the numbers, very important. So look what he's done here. Brilliant. Suggested purchase price, 105,000. All right. That might be thereabouts, but work with it. Stamp duty is 3,150, but he's rounded it 3,200. Great. Legals, $2,000 with a survey. Perfect. It's actually, that's a little, the numbers come, a lot of these numbers come from me, but that's great. I like $2,000 because hopefully it's a little bit less. Refurb. New kitchen floor, new sockets, ensuite bathroom upstairs, new ceilings, new floorboards, new bathroom. So it's giving me a list of everything. $20,000. All right. I could do that easy. It's not a big problem. And I'll probably save money on $20,000. Finder's fee, £2,500. If you're wanting to get hold of this, by the way, put a message in, because what will happen, you're going to come through me. It's all going to be Michael's money. Don't worry. But I'm going to vet you because I'm going to want to see your money. You're going to have to show me the money to buy this, okay? And then finder's fee, and then there's a total. So the GDV, gross development value, £185,000. Profit, if you just sold it, £36,000. It's nearly, 40K if you take it in. So what money do you need to use funding to get this? £52,000. Purchase price, 150, and he's giving you a little breakdown here of where the finance comes, because if you were to buy this on what's called a bridge, he's worked it out at 1% for 4 months, 3,150 if you borrowed that money. He's giving you a nice look. They're not exact. You might pay a little bit, you might pay a little bit less, or you may well do it all in cash, which you're going to save yourself. It's a really good deal, really, really good. And then new value at 75% loan to value. Your mortgage is going to be 138. Remember, that's what it's worth. Mortgage at 3.5% is going to cost you interest only 405. Rent 750. All right. We think that could go up. That could possibly be 800. Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah, we think that, talking to the agent, there's a strong demand, push up to 800. But here's all your stuff: mortgage, management, maintenance, gas safety, insurance, voids. So if you get a long-term tenant, you're getting an extra 38 quid. But there you are, nearly £200. You'll have £3,000 left in the deal once you refinance out. That's a 73% return on your money left in. It's a pretty good deal. Nice one, Michael. I'm very impressed. I really am. But what we want...
It's quite an interesting thing as well. Do you know about the oil? In that area in Chapel, there is no gas in Chapel at all.
And that's in Waverley as well, like obviously near Skegness.
Because in Chapel, I actually got told by the agent that Chapel used to be a mining town, mining village. So all the people that lived in Chapel were miners, and they actually got free coal for working in the mines. So that's why they didn't have no gas in there. So that's why they stuck with the oil. And I thought, oh, that's quite interesting. So that was quite an interesting fact that I never knew either. So she's willing to give that information, because I was wondering why there was no gas in there, and yeah, so when she told me that was pretty interesting.
I love it. I do. No, brilliant. And it's always good. Those little stories are brilliant, because that makes you unique when you're going out. Because you're local, you're starting to learn those things and retain them and share them, which is great. So that's what Michael's put together. So we've been working, 4 months now, and that's what he's managed to put together, and is now finding. But what he's doing, he's finding out. He said to you earlier, Trevor, I've seen another one today. I've looked at it. It's only rent $550. It doesn't really work. He's not doing it. Now, at the beginning, he was bringing me things which didn't work, but we went through it. And now he's recognizing that doesn't work. There's not enough in it. Bin that one, move on to the next. And this is brilliant. And so, well done, Michael. I'm going to stop sharing, go back to my presentation for you guys. All right. So here we go. Back to my presentation. If I can find that one, I think that's the one. Bimba. Hopefully you got there. So there we go. So that was it, live now. And the way forward. So here, fireworks, guys. I love this. So this was just over a week ago that, here we go, the first one. A close friend of mine telephoned me and said, that chap on the program, he seems like quite a decent bloke. I said, Michael's a diamond. He really is. I said, he's lovely. And he said, all right. He said, look, I've got a suggestion, Trev. So I said, all right. So he said, if I put about something like 40, 50,000 pounds in a limited company, it would be my friend, it would be me and Michael. All right. He wants it in Lincoln. He doesn't want to invest in Skegness. He said, I'd much prefer to do Lincoln. So he said, look, the idea, he said, he'd put it in so we can buy. So we'd find it, we'd refurb it and recycle the money back out, much like you've seen with that one that we've just done. And the goal would be to use that money to recycle to buy 3 properties in 2 years. All right. What does that mean? That means that we have 1 property each, and Michael and I wouldn't have used any of our money. So and we would retain that. But more than that is, I want to, make sure that Michael does start. We've got to find investors who want Skegness, because now Michael's up to a level which is beyond a lot of other people in the way that he's building relationships, and he's going to find great deals. So if you know anyone who wants to buy in Skegness, you need to please put them through to us. And so I think Michael will have a nice stream of income just for that. But the goal is always to own property. Leslie, can you just give us a brief, for people who don't know property, just very quickly what you do with rent to service accommodation, how that works. And there's a really another interesting way of doing property and income.
So for those of you who are new, I've been doing a strategy called rent to rent. So it's a subleasing strategy where you rent a property from a landlord and then you re-rent it out on different business models. So what I mean by that is different rental business models. So the most common is a buy-to-let, which everyone knows about, but it's very hard to make any profit from that on a rent-to-rent model. So usually people talk about HMOs and service accommodation, which is what I'm well known for. So that's one way of, if you're starting and you're looking to build up your cash flow, because most of the reasons that I've come across why people want to start with a strategy like this is because maybe they want to leave their job, or get more time with the family, etc. I think those are the most common reasons whereby people start with a cash flow strategy, and then once they've built that up, they then go on to do bigger things. And that's what I've been doing at the moment. Now I'm doing developments, but I'm still running my rent-to-rent portfolio in Cambridge, and that seems to be growing without me looking for property. And it's really important to just put yourself out there, because you never know what opportunities there are. I was telling some of my students that this morning. I was having a session with them, and it's just really interesting what opportunities have come our way, despite being in a lockdown. And some of it is, we've been sourcing, really big projects at the moment for clients that are in the hospitality sector, but the deals are, from 3 million all the way up to 45 million at the moment. So there's a lot going on. So you just never know what might happen. So do put yourselves out there so people can see what you're doing.
Super. Thank you, Leslie.
You're
So,
welcome.
bless you. So, look, are there any questions for Michael and Natasha?